Welcome to Custom Homebuilders Solutions, also known as CHS, a job costing, full accounting, and profit management software designed specifically for the professional home builder. Hello everybody, this is Carol King, the developer of Custom Homebuilders Solutions job costing and accounting program. And in this video, it should be an early video that you watch, I would like to talk about the best ways to navigate and how to use the main menus and get around to various places in CHS. And I'd like to cover a little bit about how we provide support and any little troubleshooting tips that I can give you. And because this is a web program, I would like to talk real quickly about also setting up your browser for the best use of CHS. I will come back to talking about this menu, but since I mentioned the browser, on this thing that first opens, it's called the Launch tab. After you've logged in and you get into CHS, there's a button here for critical information about setting up your browser. The main critical information and how to set up your browser is behind this link, the CHS User Connection Guide. And hopefully you can watch that and see what I did. But the reason I like you to open it, if I scroll down here, is first of all, one of the very first things that browsers are very annoying about is we pop up several things to give you messages, and sometimes the browser in our message will insert this little checkbox saying prevent this page from creating additional dialogues. That's because they're watching for ads to be popping up, etc. And I'll tell you that we don't pop up ads, that our messages that do pop up in a box, there's a little message going up on above this, are for a reason, and it may be that that pop-up takes you then to the next step that you need to take, etc., or to make a choice. So we have this message here about never checkmark this. If you do, there's some ways to try to get back out of it, and you can call us for support. But what it'll do is stop the pop-ups, and then it'll just sort of seem like probably you're doing something and then nothing happens because it's waiting for a pop-up that you've told it to block. There's information here about connecting to CHS and various things that will be there, and that you should do the CHS setup steps first, and how to renew your services, and how to add or terminate users. But I'd like you to be sure that you get down to the pages 5 and after, because these will be things that help your experience in CHS as far as setting up. We do quite often recommend using Firefox, so the screens that we show about the best way to set up things are right here, and it's a very good idea to really, and for one thing, you need to go and uncheck to block pop-up windows also, so that'll help, because we do use pop-up windows to talk to you in our program because we just have to. The other thing is you can really slow yourself down if you're tracking history, and so we're suggesting that you turn off history tracking by finding the options for your browser. All of these things would be like, I'm on this browser right now, and over here a lot of these things are behind something called options. I believe in Chrome it's called options also, to do your settings to get things set up the best way. We also strongly suggest that you find the place that might refer to applications in your browser. In Firefox it's under General and then Applications, and that you select, if you click here you'll get a drop down. See the little drop down over here? Select Preview in Firefox. That will be your best thing when you're opening reports that are PDF reports in CHS. It'll give you, instead of just automatically throwing it usually in some download thing, it will give you the option to just go ahead and open it in your own PDF reader, instead of it going into the download like you might be used to, and then you have to go click something up here that shows a little download icon and then get to it. So we strongly suggest this. Then we have lots of information down here. We're also showing you how to set up your printer when you get to the point of printing checks and doing 1099s. But right here is really important when you're using a web program. The next few pages are things that you can do to have more control, to speed up your computer, and give your browser the best performance. We're going to be working in a heavy duty data, of course, because we're doing job cost and accounting. And so it's really great to go through all of these things. And then you can click the X button and close this. And you can read the rest of the things here a little bit. And there's a link also to get Firefox. It's free. So I just wanted to point that out, that there's critical browser tips that when you first get CHS you'd want to look at. There's general use videos. One of them is this video about how to use the main menu. And then I also talked to you about your best browser view. And I'd like you to notice that if I go over here and I click those 3 bars for my browser again, you'll see a zoom thing. And I have Firefox set at 100% because I don't want it all up here. Notice what happens when I start, making it real tiny. You can't read it, or it'll suddenly be all the way up in the corner. So I suggest in Firefox 100%. I think it turned out that maybe 125% is best in Internet Explorer. But we designed for this to be a full screen because there's a lot that you're going to be doing in CHS. Now I'd like you to notice the first thing, most of the time when it opens, you'll see this launch, it's called a tab. And that will stay open all of the time to return to it. But most of the time you'll be just clicking to continue to the main menu. And then that tab will just stay open, so it doesn't need to load again. But this is where you'll be working all of the time. If you click something else to open that might be in a tab, you'll see that there in a tab. And you could close it here or close it with the little red X here. You can always go back to the home main menu and leave that dashboard open because you've been working on it. Or if you've opened a job budget or opened other things, that kind of thing. If you've decided that you're opening the company master to set up company master information, it would stay here. Then you could go back to the jobs dashboard. And you might get several of these tabs open across here, which makes it easy to jump around. And if you decide, I just need the last one that I went to, the company master, I don't need all these tabs, you can click close all tabs except last one. That was the last one we opened. The home and the launch will stay there so that you can get back to home and get to your main menu. Let me go back to the launch just for a second. There's another area here that will change all the time, tell you what's new and what's coming, but that's not what this video is about. There's troubleshoot tips that will give you some things to try. In case you're slowing down or your browser is getting odd, it's not coming from CHS, but we're trying to give you some tips there for how to use that. So let's get back to the main menu here. We'll close our company master for now. The first thing I'd like you to notice is about support. Support is provided by phone, not by email, and there's a reason for that. It turns out that if you stop, you type out an email, sometimes things aren't explained that well in emails. I do the same thing. I think I'm explaining it, but it really, really works a lot better for us to be talking by phone with you. Plus, we'd like for you to be at your computer right when something happened that you're concerned about, so we can talk about it and ask what you clicked and get the information back and forth. So we're not just doing a bunch of emails back and forth trying to understand each other. It's just much faster by phone. And I tell you to click the troubleshoot tips first. There's, again, those heavy-duty troubleshoot. Try closing down your browser if you've slowed way down, if you happen to be tracking history in your browser, things like that. And then there's the main menu help, which is this video that's going to be behind it. There's a couple of a few major things that you use all of the time in CHS before we get to these menus, like the active jobs dashboard, where you're selecting one job and you're getting all kinds of information and stuff about just that job. So you can go to all kinds of things, their actual costs, their budget, comments about the job, your plan room uploads, that kind of thing. And then there's a big major owner review screen. It takes a few moments to open because it's gathering a lot of information for you, and there's another video about the owner review screen right here behind the help video, talking all about how it's showing you your jobs and where their profit stands and the cash balances for each job and their estimated cost of completion and how much they're going over or under, that kind of thing. CHS tracks cash by job, which is really great. But notice I could just leave that open I could go back to it, and if I've had it open for quite a while, since you're in a web browser, you probably might want to refresh it to see if any changes people have made have changed these numbers for you. So that's another little thing I like to show you. On the main menu, one of the first things when you get CHS is, or if you add a new user, it's going to be set up user permissions so you control how much access they have to things. You'll be able to get to comments and see the most recent ones. You can go watch sort of a seminar about CHS also. In it, that's in addition to all of the help that you will get. Say on Jobs Dashboard, you'll see there's a help video you'll see right on screen. Like I said, the owner review does. So you'll have your help for all of that. So let's talk about how you actually do navigate around. For one thing, the first thing you see here is an index. And maybe I'm wanting to work on a job budget estimate. So I'll just try typing the word budget, and I'll see job budget. And I can go either to the jobs dashboard, it's letting me know, or to another list of budgets. If I click jobs dashboard, it just took me back to the dashboard I already had open. So that's cool. If I want to go to this another way and not use the index to try to find things, like say I'm trying to decide where do I find bank recs, so I might start typing bank rec, and you can start seeing that you have an option for that. And it's going to take you to the window, which has its own help and things about doing bank recs. So you don't have to use all the expanding menus if you don't want to, if you get really good, but it's good to know what's here totally. So let's say you're going to post new bills. You click that, you expand the menu, you're going to post a bill from scratch. Or in CHS you can create bills from POs, or you have some recurring bills, that type of thing. Or you're wanting to go to job budgets or purchase orders or change orders, so on. Let's say you have a bunch of these menus open and you realize, oh, I'm having to scroll down, to see some other menus about interim draw requests, and now I've got so many open. What you can do then is collapse all menus so you get them scooched back up and get to where you need to be easier and see the various options. You'll see that they kind of coordinate. This says vendors, which is trades and suppliers, their setup and info, and a list of them and their expirations, insurance, this and that. And then this is adding new payable bills. This is looking at your unpaid payables. And this is an area to look at all your payables, look at your accounts payable aging. So all of that's sort of on one line there. And I think that's all I have to say about the main menu and how to use it. And thank you for watching.